In this lesson, we're going to learn how to connect the diatonic triads in the melodic minor scale across the fretboard. Here's a great idea for connecting triads across the fretboard with the melodic minor scale. Now, what we do, if we start in G minor, for example, if we have a G minor chord, a G minor triad, if we want this to sound like melodic minor going across the fretboard, we have to use the diatonic triads. Now, one thing to remember is that there are two minor triads, there are two major triads, and there are two diminished triads. This is one of the most important things to remember, these pairs of triads. So you have, for example, in G minor, G minor, A minor. So you have this pair of minors, okay? Then you have an augmented that separates the pairs. And now we have C and D, we have two more majors, and then diminished, and then we meet the G minor again. So if you can look at it like two minors and an augmented, two majors and two diminished, and connection, that's a great place to start. How do you visualize this across the neck? Well, I have anchor points. So obviously the G minor, that's where G is, and then I think a whole step above. Then when I get to this augmented triad, I like to see that with the G bass. So if I can see this augmented triad and the G bass, this turns into a minor major 7 chord. So that's really helpful for visualization. Then we move up to this. Once we're on the D, I can also see that with the G. Now it's an incomplete chord. I would need the B flat to make it sound minor, but I can really see that D triad as being part of the G chord. And this chord, if you put the G underneath it, it sounds very nice, that diminished triad over the G bass. It really helps to kind of anchor you into the particular key that you're in. So if I'm descending, here's G minor, then I can do my anchor. I know that there's two of these. Then I can anchor in like this, then anchor here, and then two minors to complete. Now I can do the same thing on another string set. If here's the G minor, I know that there's my second minor, okay, then my augmented. But now we're running out of room in this key, so let's try it backwards to see if this whole thing works for us. Now we know that when we go backwards, we're going to have two diminished, like that. Then we're going to have two majors. Okay? Then we're going to have an augmented. Now if you're starting to get confused, just look at that augmented, okay, and put the G bass underneath it, and you can see, oh, okay, there's my minor major 7 chord right there. There's the minor 6 chord, and you add the little, major 7 on top, and you get this really nice voicing for G minor major. So if you start to feel confused about where you are, that's a great anchor point right there. Here's a great exercise. We start on this string set, go up our two minors, connect with the augmented, then our two majors, then our two diminished. Then we land on G minor. Then we're going to go up to the next string set. Now we're going to hit our augmented, okay? Then our two minor triads, then our diminished, two diminished, then our two majors, then our augmented. Remember that augmented looks like, okay, a minor major 7 chord. If you just think minor 6 right here for G, and you can see that augmented up there, it's one of our anchors. And then we could switch back to the next string set and complete the exercise. Now let's make some music out of this. I have a G pedal here, and I'm going to think of this as a swing feel. 2, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Try to play arpeggios with these with different patterns. So maybe the top string set. So when you're improvising, you can take these triad arpeggios and connect across the fretboard using your anchors, keeping in mind the 2 minors, the augmented in between, the 2 majors, and the 2 diminished triads.